In this video, you are getting instantly teleported. There is no spaceship and no landing sequence. You just appear on the surface of every planet in the solar system. You do not get a spacesuit, a helmet, or anything else that would keep you alive. So, how long till you're dead? Just let me explain. Before we start teleporting, here are the rules. On rocky planets, you arrive on the actual surface. On gas giants and ice giants, there is no solid ground, so we just drop you in the cloud tops, roughly where the air pressure matches Earth at sea level. We are tracking two different clocks. The first is how long you stay conscious. The second is how long until you're actually dead. Let's go. Round 1. Fight. You teleport to Mercury. The sun looks about 3 times bigger than it does from Earth, and the light can be up to 7 times brighter. On the day side, the surface can hit about 800 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough to melt lead. The bigger problem is that Mercury barely has an atmosphere at all. What little gas is left is so thin that for your body, it might as well be outer space. The pressure is so low that the moisture in your mouth, eyes, and airways wants to boil at body temperature. You black out in about 15 seconds while that is already happening. You're dead in about 1 minute 33 seconds because your body fluids start boiling while there is no air left to save you. You teleport to Venus. The surface temperature sits around 870 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes it the hottest planet in the entire solar system. The pressure is about 93 times Earth's sea level, like being more than 3,000 feet underwater, except the fluid around you is scalding carbon dioxide. Above you, the sky is laced with sulfuric acid clouds. You do not get a calm death. The pressure crushes you, the heat cooks you, and the toxic air burns your lungs from the inside. If you somehow took a breath, you would be inhaling oven-hot poison that shreds wet tissue so you choke on the fluid from your own airways. You're dead in about 12 seconds because Venus crushes you, cooks you, and burns your lungs with toxic sulfuric acid air. You teleport to Mars. The average surface pressure is roughly 0.6% of Earth's. That sits well below the Armstrong limit, which is the point where water boils at body temperature. The air that is there is mostly carbon dioxide, so even a deep breath would just pack your lungs with waste gas. You stay conscious for about 10 to 15 seconds while your eyes and mouth start to boil and your brain starves on CO2. You're dead in about 1 minute 48 seconds because the air is mostly carbon dioxide and thin enough to boil the moisture out of your lungs. You teleport to Earth. The pressure is friendly, the temperature is workable, the air is an oxygen mix your cells already know how to use, and the gravity is 1g, which is what your bones expect. Earth is the only stop where getting instantly teleported outdoors is just going for a walk. You're not dead, you're just outside. Congratulations, you don't die. You teleport to Jupiter, into the cloud tops. The atmosphere is mostly hydrogen and helium, cold enough around minus 170 degrees Fahrenheit that every breath is useless gas flooding a human lung that evolved for oxygen. Jupiter also has intense radiation belts, but those are not what turn your lights out initially. If you keep falling, the pressure climbs fast. Galileo's probe lasted about 57 minutes down to roughly 22 to 24 times Earth's sea level pressure. You will not last that long. You're dead in about 38 seconds because you fill your lungs with freezing hydrogen and helium while the pressure mounts gradually as you continue to fall. You teleport to Saturn. Same kind of sky as Jupiter, just colder and prettier. The cloud tops sit around minus 220 degrees Fahrenheit and the air is still hydrogen and helium with no oxygen in it. Radiation is milder than Jupiter's. The view is better. Your lungs still get a face full of useless cold gas. You're dead in about 1 minute 27 seconds because Saturn fills your chest with freezing hydrogen instead of air. You teleport to Uranus. This is not an ice cube. It is an ice giant made of hydrogen, helium, and methane that paints it blue. In the cloud tops, the temperature sits around minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit. If you try to breathe here, you are pulling methane and hydrogen into wet human lungs that cannot extract oxygen from any of it. The cold alone is brutal. The chemistry finishes the job. You're dead in about 1 minute 40 seconds because you inhale methane blue air that cannot keep you alive. Your lungs freeze and you die. In about 30 seconds after that, you are officially a human popsicle. You teleport to Neptune. It has temperatures around minus 330 degrees Fahrenheit in the cloud tops. Voyager 2 clocked winds near 1200 miles per hour around the old Great Dark Spot. Now those are the fastest measured winds in the entire solar system. That sounds like it should peel your skin off. Wind force is not just speed though. It depends on how much air mass is slamming into you, and Neptune's atmosphere is mostly light hydrogen and helium. A 1200 mile per hour blast in thin gas is not the same as a 1200 mile per hour blast in thick earth air. What actually ends you first is what you are forced to inhale: cold hydrogen, helium, and methane with zero oxygen. You black out in about 11 seconds. You're dead in about 1 minute 15 seconds because Neptune makes you breathe methane storm air until your brain shuts down. Bonus stage! You teleport to the moon. It is not a planet, but everyone asks, so it counts. The moon does not have a real atmosphere. Whatever gas is left is so thin that your body might as well be in space. With almost no pressure outside you, the moisture in your mouth and airways wants to boil, and there is no air coming in to replace what fails. You're dead in about 1 minute 36 seconds because there is no air and your fluids start boiling in the low pressure. And here's the scoreboard for an instant teleport with no suit and no special equipment. If there's one thing I want you to take with you, it's this. Space doesn't kill you one way. It has a whole menu. You just happen to live in the one magical zone that isn't trying to murder you the second you walk in. That is not a boring fact, that is the whole story. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. See you in the next one.